This is a Poet Punch podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Saturday Night Drive.
Hello, and welcome to the evidence that will be submitted in court once Nat pleads insanity after murdering me.
Poet Punch, the company, will be dissolved.
Yeah, well,
And,
that's one
by
way of
by that
saying it.
point, right? And this will be like a cashed in like no one thinks about episode 3 of Saturday Night Drive, the now famous and notorious podcast series that goes on for like thousands and thousands of episodes, much like the Joe Rogan Experience or the JRE.
Can you imagine
the
doing
JRE for all your
1,000
Rogan head.
episodes of this?
Like those parodies of like future dystopian worlds where there's the Wikipedia like scribes. But there's like scribes that are specifically for Saturday Night Drive. They're like, I have seen the texts.
What?
I have seen the passages.
What content would we even have after 1,000 episodes? It's like, hey guys, what's
No,
up?
at that point we
Anyway,
are.
so,
we're not talking about Poet Punch anymore. At that point, we are just in charge of Pixar. And we have caused like the worst timeline for Pixar,
Wait.
where like they give up on any like independent IPs, like new IPs. Nothing new happens at Pixar. It's all Cars.
But-
Everything is Cars.
And we still run this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the way it happens is that we I think in order for this reality to happen, we would have had to do a violent takeover of Pixar. and then this is basically like a list of ransom demands every time.
Oh my god. I'm struggling to think what stories we'd come up with after 1,000. Just like, yeah.
Well, at that point, we would make our own
if-
content. We would generate more and more stories through, like Fonda McQueen would
Are
be
you
like
saying we
a
don't
dent. It would be
make
a
our
dent in the Cars timeline, right? Versus like compared to like the earthquake that will be like the
the earthquake.
audience listeners. I have not. It's been a long day. I haven't even been at work. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Job listings. Anyway,
Or you just. Hello and welcome to our podcast where we we're just like using a pod track as therapy for 30 minutes and then we clock out.
yeah. We have the Zoom pod track.
Yeah.
We talk to it about our feelings, and then we leave. It's just that our feelings happen to often be about Cars. So Cars 2, the 2010 motion picture,
Oh my god.
instead of Cars 1, Cars the 2006 motion picture.
What you're just saying things. Yeah, so
Yeah.
anyway, this episode is going to be about us trying to specifically draw off of Cars 2. Because last episode if you're just joining us.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in,
First of all, I'm sorry.
Why would you
Second
do
of
that?
all,
watch the first 2 episodes.
well, yeah,
Especially
you
the
don't, I mean, you
Carminal
don't have
Minds
to.
episode, where it requires a previous watching of around 6 seasons of Criminal Minds in order to understand the in-jokes.
Yeah.
Wheels up in 10, by the way. And then...
if you are still here and you've listened to the last 2 episodes, hi, Mom.
Hi, maybe Tom. Maybe Tom.
Yeah, maybe. What do you mean, maybe?
I love the idea that Tom doesn't even listen to these. Okay, so what we've done since the last episode is that we've each gone and watched Cars 2 in our own time.
Yeah, so I basically proposed the idea that this time around, we go away, we rewatch the next relevant Cars film. In this case, it's Cars 2, which came out in 2010.
I think.
And then we
I kind of just said that with certainty. Do you
oh,
know it
you said it so certainly that I just believed you. I don't actually remember.
I kind of just guessed. I'm not
First
gonna
one
lie.
was 2006.
It was 2006.
Which is 1 year after Criminal Minds came out.
Exactly, and that's exactly why what I said made sense. Well, what we said. Sorry, I don't know why I took full credit for that.
I think this episode should just be us justifying why the last episode should exist.
No, you see, right? You see Matthew Gray Goobler.
You don't understand. Listen, there's like 3 different types of psychopath. Actually, I don't remember what.
Audience listeners, I want to apologize. It was 2011.
Okay, cool.
I'm sorry, Matthew Gray Goobler.
So,
hold on. A whole other thing. By the way,
I'm still gonna address Matthew directly. Hello,
hello,
Mr.
Matthew.
Mr. Goobler.
Mr. Goobler. Mr. Gray Goobler.
I think he's mentioned that people call him Goob, which is also the name of a character in another movie I love called Meet the Robinsons.
I'm just thinking about a goofy movie, but a Gooby movie.
Well, there is a movie called Gooby.
A family movie about a boy.
Starring what's his name? Robbie Coltrane. He's Hagrid,
Sure.
and he plays a sentient teddy bear called Gooby. It's
That sounds horrible.
It is kind of a horrible movie. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna say horrible, but it is bad.
Not a massive fan of
He
Robbie
eats-
Coltrane myself, but
He fucking ate, bro.
he ate.
He eats like hot dogs.
What, the bear?
Yeah.
Is it your teddy bear?
Yeah, so he's like a teddy bear that's come to
Eats
life.
hot dogs.
Yeah. So it's about this kid.
So does he have like a digestive system now?
He's a bear that's come to life.
Wait, why?
Have you seen Paddington? Now imagine if Paddington was addicted to meth.
I love how I'm having all of these questions about Robbie Coltrane's depiction of a teddy bear, but the second Seth MacFarlane did it, I had no qualms with
there's
the
a
logistics
lot
of that.
teddy bears
I just had
actually.
qualms. I had qualms with the content of that film, rather than the logistics of how do bears drink beer.
I'll show you what Gooby looks like in a bit.
That's
after
fair.
This. I mean, also
Now, I for the record, everyone, when I was watching Cars 2, I was taking a lot of motor oil.
What you really need is a sweet taste of my homemade organic fuel.
And I had thoughts. Do you want to sit here? My thoughts
Sure.
in order. Michael Caine car, that one car that Michael Caine kills, but Rogue One.
I forgot about.
Are the
Michael Caine.
are the big digger trucks dinosaurs? Never mind, dinosaurs are real, because they mentioned dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Right, because motor oil. Anyway, and then I wrote Jurassic Park, but dinosaurs.
Oh, okay. That's a
Which
great
is a
idea.
hilarious sentence.
That is a
which
great idea. Carassic.
If you take the context of what we're doing here with cars out of that equation, Jurassic Park but dinosaurs is meaningless. It's like actually meaningless.
What if we do it again but
and
with
then
dinosaurs?
I had the least original thought ever, which is, what is leaking oil supposed to be an analogy of? Is it piss? Question mark. Which I feel like everyone has had that question when watching Cars 2.
Again, it's like culturally, I think it's just different.
Yeah.
But
Well, they go to the
closest
bathroom.
We could get to understanding the humiliation is if you pissed yourself in public.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm going to assume it's the same because he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I think it's that.
Then, right after that, I wrote the Da Vinci Code. Meaningless. And then
Yeah,
I
it
wrote,
is.
Rossi is the car that kills the American spy.
But we're not
which
going
is
back.
true. So, audience listeners, if you don't know Criminal Minds, there is a character
my
called
God.
Detective Rossi, right? So when we were talking about Criminal Minds, we just didn't know that Rossi was in the next film.
Yeah, one of
the
the
actor for Rossi.
One of the actors in Criminal Minds who plays David Rossi apparently plays. Is he the like German car? That's the one that kills the American car.
He's the guy that has
the
the
monocle.
deaf. No, he's not the monocle guy.
Oh.
He's the henchman that mans the laser.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I hear it now.
Yeah,
I remember.
that's Rossi.
Okay.
I heard it
well,
immediately
see,
and went, "Is that fucking Rossi?" And
That's
then
definitely
Hold on.
intentional. That was intentional.
I'm not done with these stupid bullet points.
Well, but
I'll get back to them
on
later.
the record,
Yeah.
we have officially connected Criminal Minds.
I don't know.
relevancy
So
to
I
the-
feel like in Criminal Minds now we have to have a story as to how Rossi.
I don't like that you keep
gives
talking
up.
as if we're gonna have to continue with Criminal Minds.
What do you mean? Cause that will definitely happen. But we gotta solidify the fact that Rossi eventually goes to a life of crime.
I mean,
instead of being on that whole
again,
detective
spoilers
path.
for Criminal Minds.
He is a criminal briefly. He had a criminal
Yeah,
past.
he has like a, I think he has like a mafia background or something.
He's got like an Irish mafia background, right?
Yeah, which is wild, right? Because he's so Italian.
Yeah, it's meaningless, but it's okay.
It's great. No, I love Rossi. I mean, I can say about all the characters, but
Shout out to Hotch.
Yeah.
Right now I'm watching Hotch. He's in his DILF phase now. It's great.
yeah, but he's always in. It,
he'll report to the media and then immediately put sunglasses on, and it'll be like, yeah, man,
Hot, just
you
Hotch
live your life.
He's having a Hotch girl summer.
Hotch girl summer.
I'm padding. I'm not even trademarking it. I'm jumping straight to a patent.
Copyright. This is my OC. Do not steal.
Hotch girl summer is when your wife gets killed and you're suddenly a single dad.
Throw that shit on TV tropes.
No.
Hotch girl summer is a new trope.
I want
where,
a shirt that
where,
says that. I want a shirt that says Hotch girl summer and then it's an SUV and it just says wheels up. And that can be Cars merch.
The next point I wrote was Tokyo slaps.
Tokyo.
And then
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Yes, I remember that.
I'm going to skip a couple because I think they're actually good points to get back to. But the next one down after all of that is Meta is racist.
Yeah, he is.
I can't remember why or how.
Culture appropriates in the middle of. I remember this because I remember watching it in college with some friends. And I forced them to watch Cars 2 with me. That's a lie. They tentatively agreed, but I remember us watching it and the Tokyo bit coming on and me going, "Oh my god, I just remembered what happens." And my roommate who is Japanese was like,
Right.
"Holy shit, what the hell is he doing?"
What did he do?
Why is he being racist just randomly?
That was the wasabi bit.
Wasabi
We're not
bit
even.
was
I think the
honestly fine.
wasabi's an understandable.
Yeah, it's an understandable just him
Qualm,
being like
query,
American
problem.
and Western. It's the like throwing on a full face of makeup with the.
Oh shit! I forgot about that completely.
That's the bit I was talking
And I
about.
think that's where I wrote Mesa is racist.
Yeah, that's the part that we were like,
and
oh
then I
yeah,
wrote-
okay.
Zero context. I think the Cars are socialists. I started thinking about the Cars as this weird, like, socialist utopian world. I don't know.
Surely it's like
I actually
capitalist
cannot
than
elaborate.
anything.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense what I
It's
wrote
like,
down.
It's like you can't even have a rural town purely in the Cars universe because they're inherently urban.
Oh, an interesting point about the biology of cars. Cars breathe.
Yeah.
Because Meta got knocked out by gas.
Oh yeah, true.
So cars
I guess
do
that
in
makes
fact
sense.
breathe.
So they have a respiratory system of
Yeah.
some kind.
In there.
Do you think that's what their like air conditioner is?
I think so, or at least I think it's more like the like air ventilation into
Yeah.
into machine parts.
Interesting.
Words.
I wonder if cars smoke.
Cars definitely smoke. I feel
Trying
like
to remember
there
if
are
I've seen
there
a
are at
car
least some
smoking.
cigarettes in that noir version. If
Okay.
not, I'd be surprised.
Interesting. I'm like struggling to remember if in any of the mainstream Cars media they've smoked.
Now, I've got something, right?
Okay.
Now, in Cars 2, spoilers for Cars 2, the main villain is eventually revealed to be Eddie Izzard's portrayal of Miles Axelrod, right?
That's hideous.
Now, I propose an origin story
For Miles
for Miles Axelrod,
I
I want to call it "When Life Makes You a Lemon."
Okay, that's a great title, and that actually almost convinced me, but I was already about to make my case against it, which
Go
is
on.
we have done nothing but origin stories so far.
Actually, no.
Criminal
Minds was not an origin story.
It was an origin story.
No,
for
it was a
that
yes
random
and
American-
of what Cars was, basically.
Yeah, but that one American car, like, is in Criminal Minds as a this is his backstory thing, so it
Which-
still counts.
Oh, I guess.
So okay, I love that idea, but I feel like we gotta do something interesting and different for our third
Fine,
episode.
we'll save that.
We'll
We'll
save
save
it.
that.
We'll save
Because
that.
I like that a lot.
No, yeah, yeah, legit. The moment you said when life
Makes you a lemon.
I was like, all right.
Yes.
My idea is a little different,
Go
in
on.
which I'm playing off of something I suggested. I can't remember in either episode 1 or 2. Where I said I think we should do in brackets the Lewis one.
Oh, I forgot about that completely.
Yeah.
Are we going with that now? Are we going
We
for that
can.
now?
That was one of
Amazing.
it was.
I should have watched it before.
I was listening
I would
to
have
it
had a
on the
good
way
excuse.
here because I
Oh,
knew I was
you-
gonna suggest it.
You fool! You didn't tune me in. I could have.
I thought you.
You didn't tune me in like a car, like cars.
A few moments
I
later.
literally, I don't know what else.
Now, so what we're gonna do?
Fine, we'll do Miles Axelrod.
No.
Will prevail.
We'll be
Honestly,
back.
okay, wait, yeah. Let's disregard everything I've set up until this point. What I will do when we start doing, I will bring my keyboard over.
That's what I was thinking. I thought that was gonna be the keyboard
okay,
episode.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So actually, just cut this whole bit out.
Oh man.
Or yeah,
So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna do an origin story, and instead we're gonna do an origin story.
can we do?
And we're
wait,
gonna do-
Or
we're gonna
we can
do-
do what happens to Miles Axelrod in
Afterwards.
jail.
I think. Well, see, how are we doing this? Because we did we did episode 0.5, and then we also did an episode that was like during episode 1.
Yeah.
So do we want to do an episode 1.5 and then an episode
So
2.5?
between the first film and the second film,
Yeah.
which is what technically Criminal Minds started out as.
It started
intended
out
to
as
be.
that was the intention, but then it was just
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would just slop. I actually think, and I know it's a little early to say this, but I just feel this in my heart, that episode 2 of this podcast is the worst thing we'll have ever created
oh no
in
no
our
no,
entire
no,
lives.
for sure, and it is one of my favorites,
Yeah,
but
well,
it
yeah.
is objectively
We had
the
fun,
the dumbest thing
but
we've made.
nobody else needed to hear
like it is for no one else except maybe Matthew Gray Goobler.
Yeah,
and
Matthew
that's
Gray
it.
Goobler, it's nice to have you back.
It's
Thank
nice to
for
have you back.
coming.
I'm glad that you like this podcast enough that you've returned for a second
Yeah.
episode.
It's okay. I'll take the duct tape off of your mouth in a couple seconds.
Numbers.
He's in the corner right now. He's over there in the corner.
The first thing that comes out of his mouth
He's
when
not
we've
tied up.
removed the duct tape is what character was it? Simon.
From Alvin and
He
the...
just says Simon.
What? What? Funny joke.
Meaningless. Actually
We
meaningless.
have to sound like we still
Professionals?
have every part of our
Like we
brains.
write for a living.
Like
Like we're always on.
Oh
Like
man.
click click brain.
We just
Vroom, vroom, beep beep.
I just came home from a job.
And I've been fussing over job interviews.
I got
And different,
I
like,
got
script
an email
projects.
about my pension scheme this week.
Oh, I had some re-pension scheme stuff. Isn't it fun? Anyway, let's talk about not
Yeah.
right. So I also had other ideas linked to the Miles Axelrod idea.
Okay.
Right?
Is this still in between 1 and 2?
This is still in between 1 and 2.
Alright, cool.
So there is we've agreed that Hotch is the American that gets killed by Rossi,
Yeah.
which is now thinking about it. What?
It's really sad, actually. You just killed.
So
Hotch.
we've basically confirmed that Carminal Minds can only happen between during episode 1 and towards the end of episode 2.
Which I
and
think
that's
is a
like,
good enough amount of time. I think it's
Yeah.
been like a year or 2 since.
I
the
think
first?
more than one episode
Yeah.
is a bit of a crime.
Oh, so you think it should be like a short?
No, it's more just wow, the fact that it's even given that
It's
much
a test
time
pilot that never got greenlit, which more
within
realistically
the Cars
it
universe.
would be, yeah.
Yeah.
If we could get anyone to be willing to animate that. I want to know how
Who is Harv?
he's oh my god, he is Lightning McQueen's manager that we never see.
Right. So I wrote down Harv. What's Harv up to? Basically,
I mean, Harv is definitely a character that I would love to explore. at some
Harv
point,
an
'cause we don't know
origin
anything
story
about
would be
him.
great.
And
No, wait. Oh, I remember. Wait, no, sorry. I understand the scribblings. of my motor oiled self from before. Harv, what's he doing in episodes 1 to 3? I was not talking about Cars the motion picture, or Cars 2 the motion picture, or Cars 3 the motion picture. I was talking about the potential prequel series, Cars 1, 2, and 3. I think Harv should be involved in that storyline.
Interesting.
So even though it's mostly about Doc, is it Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah, even though it's mostly about Doc.
I mean,
part of it is about Harv finding an up-and-coming talent.
Oh, so you're thinking that, that could be interesting.
Yeah,
actually,
he's looking. He's on the hunt for a talent.
Enough people would have forgotten who Harv is.
And that's how you can implement Thunder and Lightning.
How?
Baby Thunder and Lightning.
Oh, as in, like, he's the one that approaches them about the qualifying race? Yeah. Maybe he's like, I'll manage whoever makes it in.
You see what I mean? One moment.
There's somebody at Nat's door. Anyway, how are you doing, Matthew Gray Goobler? That's nice. I think you're filming a new show about being, oh my god, it's like it's another procedural, if I'm not mistaken. You want to say anything, Matthew Gray Goobler? He's not fucking talking. Or if you want to contribute to this conversation.
You lost your mind.
My friend Nat. It's been so many years since I've seen her.
Hello.
Anyway, as I was saying.
What the fuck has my co-host been saying? Hello. I'm gonna hear that in the audio stuff later and think, what the fuck you...
It was normal.
I don't believe you, because you talked to Matthew Gray Goobler as if you were holding him hostage.
He's over in the corner.
My bad. He's still here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Say sorry to Matthew.
Sorry, Matthew.
As I was saying, Jeremy Clarkson plays Harv, which means it would be an entire trilogy of Jeremy Clarkson
as a B character.
No,
because it's mostly about Doc.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
So kind of like in the same way that like Anakin's doing the Anakin shit in the prequels.
That's what I know.
He's maybe the Obi-Wan or the Mace Windu.
Okay, yeah.
He's the Mace Windu of the prequels.
Okay, yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I'd watch a Pixar film that's just
Jeremy Clarkson's the kind of person that would demand a purple lightsaber as well.
Jeremy Clarkson strikes me as someone that might be interesting to work with. Especially in voice acting for a Cars trilogy. But,
it's fine.
Yeah,
it's not like this is going to actually happen.
That's true.
So
hard cut to us in the
hard cut to us in the pitch room.
We're just
with
Pixar. How's the farm?
Texas. That's what he sounds like.
Where were we? We haven't thought of anything.
Right. So I wrote down Harv there.
Okay, so this episode's gonna be the Doc.
Oh, and I also had a pitch where I said Rossi character connected to dead car.
Why?
But no. But I don't mean the car that gets killed in the torture scene. There is also so when Michael Caine is it Miles McMissile?
Oh,
is that his name?
I think it's Finn McMissile.
Finn McMissile, aka Michael Caine. Michael Caine.
Why does everyone have? Oh no, everyone has surnames in the first. Do they?
No, Mater. Sally.
Well, actually, Mater's
Sally
his
doesn't have a
last
fucking
name, if
last
I'm not
name.
Mistaken. Because it's full
Oh, because it's Toe Mater.
Yeah. Sally, I don't think has one, and I don't fucking care about the rest of them.
What do you mean? There's going to be so many episodes about them in the future.
That's true.
What do you mean you don't care about them?
That's true, and I think if we ever wanted structure, we should have really started by just going through each of the characters one by one.
Nah. That's cheap. That's for later.
Yeah, let's just instead record a podcast where we talk about all the things this podcast should have been.
Right. So, there is that car that is driving to chase the Michael Caine car at the beginning in the oil rig, and he fucking drowns.
There's a lot of deaths in the opening scene.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that, actually. Cars 2. I love Cars 2, because there is so much death in Cars 2, man. Death and violence.
They're like, oh, we're making a spy thriller.
It's the kind of thing where, like, Cars 1, if you had, like, taken the core storyline and made it like live action for whatever reason, fine, whatever, decent kids film. Cars 2 becomes significantly more horrifying if you try and turn it into a live
How
action.
would anyone even begin to make Cars a live action series?
No, I'm thinking like core narrative except people. Because
Right,
Cars is
I
just
get
what
you,
if we
but then
took
in my
people
head I'm
and
like,
made it Cars.
if they ever get to a point, if Disney ever gets to a point where they start considering
Live
action Cars,
No,
they
I
need
love
to
that.
abort. They need to abort and stop and think about what they've done.
I was watching. This is a
Lion King is
complete
already a
departure.
bit of an interesting choice, in my opinion.
Oh, I really
Right?
don't like that they did.
Yeah,
that
I
into
think
live
I
action.
think it's a genuinely questionable choice, but Cars is a whole other level.
Yeah,
because at least in the Lion King, they are animals.
I'd say at the very least, pitching the Lion King's original version was pretty easy compared to. I think about it all the time when we sit down to do this.
What?
How do you pitch the concept of Cars to a boardroom or what, or like whoever?
I think the answer to that is probably like, fuck it, it's Pixar.
But yeah, but back then it wasn't fuck it. It's
inanimate
Pixar.
object have we not made?
Well, that's the thing is Cars was kind of the first time they did that.
No, it's not. Toys. Toy Story.
Yeah, but Toy Story makes sense and Bug's Life makes sense compared to what if Cars? And what's the film called? Cars. And that's all they did. At least Toy Story was like, your toys come alive when you're... Cars
I know exactly how that
Toy
picturing
Story
works.
is your toys magically come to life when you are not around.
I know exactly how
Bug's
that fucking
Life is
picturing
like,
happened.
the bugs have their own society that we don't know
Yeah,
about. But
yeah.
the Cars
So-
universe is its own entire universe.
They
There's no
didn't have to
humans.
think about the plot. Because what happened during Toy Story, right, was that they had toys to sell afterwards. Cars,
Oh yeah, good point.
every little kid loves a fucking toy car.
That's the
So
similar to
therefore
how
they
did
were like,
Transformers,
what
actually,
if those
so that
cars
makes
had smiley faces on the front? And then everyone's like, oh my god, take my money, give me, make the motion picture now. And then they're like, we can do it? Okay.
There's
That's
no
how
way
that-
to find
that-
out. There's no Google or anything.
Yeah, we're not Googling.
We're not gonna find out what
We'll
the
just
actual
speculate
story is.
randomly.
Yeah, car, right? They can't all be winners.
I'm
None
staring
of
at
them have been
Sonic.
winners, but
Sonic is staring back at me, judging me from the corner.
for those who don't see, Nat hasn't lost it. She just has a Sonic figurine.
He's a little squishy toy.
Yeah.
Where the fuck
I
were
can't
we?
see him, so now I'm actually concerned you have lost it.
He's next to Gangs of New York and Hail Caesar.
Just a little peek behind the curtain into the fucking asylum.
Right. Sorry, let's get back on track. Focus the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Miles
you have to see that,
Axelrod.
Matthew.
Yeah, sorry, Matthew. Miles Axelrod.
Oh, right!
Now, the main thing in Cars 2 that they establish is that he was an explorer who like had a gas fault.
He
While
ran
he
out
was-
of gas because I think he got lost in the jungle or something.
Yeah, he got lost in the jungle and then therefore ran out of gas.
Yeah, and then he made his own fuel.
Yeah, quote unquote.
Quote
But so
unquote.
like the PR narrative that he tells everyone is that, and then
Which of course spoilers for Cars too.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what we know, that he is the mastermind behind the entire
Yeah.
conspiracy of Cars
everything
2,
could be a lie.
which is that all in all was just something he created in order to like drive up the price.
He wanted to make a renewable energy, like renewable fuel source that
And
was
then
bad
tank it.
and
Tank
would
it.
cause cars to explode. Therefore, tanking it so that any lemon car, it was something.
He was
about,
basically trying to like devalue, or in the eyes of the public, renewable energy fuel, energy and fuel and stuff, so that he, as an oil baron, or
Yeah.
all the oil barons of the world,
but it was also
could get
weirdly
rich.
about racism at the same time
It's
because
not
of
about
lemon.
racism; it's about ageism.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. It's kind of hard to distinguish the two.
because
In the
again,
Cars universe,
we can't
because-
compare.
No, I know, because that's the interesting
But I think
dynamic
it's
you have in the
ageism.
Cars universe, which is that ageism is kind of also racism.
Yeah,
Because
I
they're
think it's
old
I think,
models of
like,
cars.
Discontinued. I think them being old models and discontinued cars sort of is kind of an allegory or like it's like similar to when the older generation doesn't like how the new world is changing.
Yeah.
And also there are spies now.
Except when that happens in the real world, you don't like hear about pronouns being a thing, and then suddenly your organs fail, and there's no replacement organ.
Yeah, well, in
You
this,
know what I mean?
Yeah, I think maybe it's like veganism. If someone created a vegan like nutrition bar that blew up your stomach.
I do love the plot twist where the hippie car has been feeding Lightning McQueen his own special remedy fuel the entire time.
Yeah, that was great. I like that they suddenly make him incredibly relevant and
right at the end. And that's the whole reason that Lightning McQueen has survived all of these different assassination attempts.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, thoughts on Cars 2? I like it. I think it gets a hard. I think people are hard on it.
I'm a fan. I think it works well.
It's a insane thing to slot into a trilogy, I will admit.
I do think it's the weakest of the three, but I like that it's sidetracked.
Yeah, I can't.
I actually enjoy, because if you had Cars 1 and then Cars 2 and then Cars 3, Cars 3 just would not hit.
Yeah.
Because it like I feel like you would only need to have 2 Cars movies.
Yeah.
I say on the podcast where we try and add at least 20 more titles into the Cars franchise, but
like 20. When
20.
I first pitched this podcast to you, and yes, I admit on the record it was my idea. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm not taking.
Like,
I'm
hey,
not taking
we'll
responsibility
just do like
for that.
10 episodes, and then you don't have to talk to me ever again. And that was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And
sounds
you're
great.
Telling me there's like 20s and thousands.
The best is like Freaky Fikey has more legs, and yet this is more interesting to me half the time. Because I'm just like...
I'm going to tell Tom you said that. Tom is the other host of the other podcast that Nat is on.
Tom, I love you. I love our podcast. Cars is funny, though.
Yeah,
Cars is great.
Yeah, because, like, you know...
Because sometimes,
we just
Freaky...
have more fun here. And
yeah.
we make, like, you know, worse content.
We have fun here.
All right. I'm thinking...
Go on.
If we're doing Miles Axelrod, then I would either want it to be him in jail, and it's a revenge story.
Oh, no. So we can eventually do him in jail.
Okay.
Or we can kind of bookend this.
This episode can just be focused on him.
I quite like this being Miles Axelrod before and after. So Act 3 is post Cars 2. Acts 1 to 2, pre/during Cars 2.
Oh, so it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But can it still be a revenge story?
An eventual revenge story.
Yeah, but in that Act 3.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's like a villain origin story, which we've definitely never done before.
We've definitely never done before. Well, I'd like to argue that Thunder McQueen is an anti-hero.
I actually meant Lightning McQueen's kind of...
Yeah, you're right.
We kind of made him a villain.
God, I forgot about that. Right. Where was I with this? Right, so the first idea that just came into my head was just remake The Mummy, but with Miles Axelrod, which is a terrible idea.
I don't remember enough of The Mummy's actual plot.
But just guy goes spelunking, spooky supernatural hijinks occur.
Yeah.
Also,
so you're thinking of making it like
perfect thing in his roster. He's an adventurer who is British.
Oh, true.
War crimes are on the table.
Well, that's the thing is, I wonder if the implication of the fact that he lied about All in All and why he created renewable energy or whatever is him just going off into the jungle and then being like, ugh, wait a second. I know how to make way more money now. Like, he just has a mastermind moment.
I know. He's in the jungle.
The mighty jungle.
He finds a lost tribe of cars.
That
make him take different fuel, and the
not
different fuel makes him.
We can't.
But the different fuel makes him see a vision, a world where lemons are not.
Doing ayahuasca in the jungle, and he's like, "I have a great idea."
He has an
Where's Prince William?
He has an out of chassis experience.
Out of chassis experience is another T-shirt that I would love to have. Okay, wow.
You can't do that. That's
No.
bad.
Cool. So what we've accomplished so far is just ideas
Mild
we can't
racism.
do. It's a whole episode of us not doing anything. I say, how much has happened?
Bruh.
We're almost at 40 minutes.
This is atrocious. Okay, right. Act 1, 2, 3.
All right, yeah. Okay, let's
Act
just
1, 2,
go.
3.
Let's just
Act 1, 2,
drive.
3. Let's just drive into this plot.
We have no ideas, no pre-existing thoughts. We're just gonna
That's us crashing into the breakthrough that we're
gonna
about to have.
floor it. That's
We're gonna floor it.
Yeah, okay. Act 1.
Act
we
one.
open on. It's Baby Axelrod.
Yes.
Because we all have to start with baby cars every
I
time.
love how you were like, let's not rehash what we've done
I
already.
don't want
Baby
to. I
Axelrod
just
right
said the
there.
first thing that came to mind. I'm committing to the just flooring it thing. Okay, not Baby
Oh wait,
Axelrod.
no. So, yeah, Baby Axelrod, who wants to be a race car, cannot become a race car. He's just in the wrong body. He's born in the wrong body. And then, no, don't make this a trans allegory.
I didn't say anything.
My brain went there. No. Ah.
Alright, I'm gonna close my eyes on the first thing. Okay, maybe he's like, fuel. I am fuel.
Oh, you were okay, audience listeners. Rue was closing her eyes, as mentioned, to get into the emotional state that Owen Wilson might have been in during his
Distress.
during his line recitals at the beginning of Cars 1, the motion
Line
picture.
recital.
I've got nothing.
Studio session. I don't know, man. Voice acting.
Lines.
Line reads.
Line reads.
You're a fucking filmmaker.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I'm making the movies.
Okay. So, what drives a man? Fuck, sorry.
What?
Drives a man?
No, that's how we're starting. So Eddie Izzard, he's in the studio. He reads the lines on the piece of paper in front of him, and he has to read.
We're not
What
even at-
drives a car? Many things drive a car.
We're pitching the direction process before we even have some semblance of a plot. Okay.
And then Michael Caine, for no reason, says every car has 3 acts.
Here's what we could do. We could go like a Tony Stark route. He grows up spoiled, but we kind of already did the like growing up rich thing.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
But we could do the Tony Stark thing where he like, he gets lost in the jungle and then he invents the thing. And except if Tony Stark turned into a villain afterwards. Or
But Tony Stark, if it was a massive grift the whole time.
yeah. Or we could make it like the Steve Jobs biopic kind of thing, or generally biopics about inventors and about like famous business people.
You got me with Steve Jobs biopic ripoff. Those are my favorites. Audience listeners, I love the Steve Jobs movie for the way they did the acts. It's great. Anyway,
I don't remember enough of it to like.
No, that's great.
follow the
That's
acts, so
that's actually great. So the way that the Steve Jobs biopic works is that it's the last 30 minutes before he has to go on stage to do a press conference.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Okay.
So we can do the last 30 minutes before he has to go on stage for the London Grand Prix.
Okay.
Right? That's one of them at least.
Yeah.
And then the last 30 minutes before...
Is him getting lost in the jungle?
I know. The last 30 minutes before he has to do a press conference before he goes into the jungle.
Oh, yeah. He kind of does, actually, because they all, he does a little, press thing before he goes
Yeah, it's on Cars 2.
Yeah.
So it's canon, right? So Act 1, press conference before going into the jungle. Act 2, the London All-in-All Grand Prix. The last 30 minutes of that, right?
The London...
So the one where Mater breaks through and saves the day.
Because you said Act 4 is the jungle and then Act 3 is... Act 2
No, there's only 3 acts here, like Michael Caine.
You said Act 4.
Every Cars movie has 3 acts.
You said Act 4.
I didn't say Act 4.
You did. Whatever.
Audience listeners, I don't remember saying that if I did. Alright.
Okay.
Act 1. I said B4. You might have misheard B4.
I mean, I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Alright.
I guess I'll know when I listen back if you gaslit me or not.
Act 1, jungle. Act 2, London. Act 3, jail.
Average Saturday night. Yeah.
Maybe it's the press conference.
Do you think he tries to break out of jail?
No. It's the press conference of him being freed from jail.
Why would he be freed?
I don't know. Good behavior.
Because
He could have
technically
lied.
he's a terrorist. He's technically
And
a domestic
they definitely
terrorist.
have the concept of terrorism in the Cars universe. This is like well
yeah, because
understood at this point.
Bombs are.
Yeah, they know what bombs are. Like people like call in bomb threats, and there is like there's the Pope Mobile. Especially religious based terrorism is a thing in the Cars
yeah,
universe.
because the assassination of Pope what's his face? I forget which one. That's definitely canon because the Pope Mobile has bulletproof glass in the thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That means nothing.
Anyway, we're
I don't know if he would be out on good behavior based on the shit
because he is a
did, 'cause
terrorist.
He got several cars made.
Counterpoint, he's British.
Yeah, you're right.
So, i.e., he's maybe white. Therefore, he might
I
be
think
allowed
he's
to get off on
definitely
good
white.
behavior.
I think he is definitely white. Are you kidding me?
As
Only
white
a white man
as you can
would
be
feel like he
when
could get
skin
away with
is
what he
not a
got away with.
concept in your universe.
Only
right?
Yeah.
Like. What the fuck is this show?
Yeah. What do you mean? What the fuck is this show? This is what I'm going to just show at the nursing home when I'm like, hey, can I get some more meds so I can trip the fuck out? And they're like, no, because that's
You'll be
wrong
fine
and you
without
shouldn't do
meds.
it. And then
And
I'll
then
show them this and they'll
yeah.
be like, never mind, she needs them all.
You just put the phone up and it's like, this is what I was like in my prime. I think what I'll be like
this
when
my
my
prime?
mind is deteriorating.
Is this my prime? I'm ruined.
It's fine. You're
I'm ruined, yeah. Oh my god, I forgot to introduce myself again. I'm Rue Gupte.
and I'm Nat Hay.
And we're 47 minutes into this recording.
Holy fuck.
And we don't even have an opening scene.
Holy fuck. Hold on. Italians. There we go. Now when I'm editing, I can just throw in a little bit of music. Yeah.
I was about to just say random other nationalities, but actually I don't want to go down that. No. I'm really tempted to just end the recording there. I'm so tempted, man. Do you have anything to plug?
I don't. No. We gotta crack the code. We haven't even got to the fact where I wrote down when life makes you a lemon. We haven't even got to that part.
That's
we gotta
the
get this
tagline,
done.
for
We
sure.
gotta get this done. We gotta get this done. We gotta cook. We gotta cook. Jesse, we gotta cook.
Okay, fine. I don't even want to do the podcast today.
Act 1.
Act
Press
1.
conference before jungle.
So you said the Steve Jobs movie is the 30 minutes before every press
It's
conference.
basically
So
all of the
happens-
tense, like all of the stresses of life and all of the different things that he's technically done wrong in his personal life.
Yeah.
Boil over to the surface just within the last, just before the last 30 minutes before he's about to go on stage.
Yes.
And he has to solve all of these different problems, and he's clearly hurt a lot of people around him every single time. And then you go, oh shit, well we left off like that last time with his daughter. How are we going to leave it this time? Oh right, she's now this age. Things have got a little bit worse. Alright, what's it like in Act 3? Oh, funnily enough, they don't talk to each other right now. I wonder why. And then they have a heartfelt moment.
Alright, okay.
He made the iPod for her.
Yeah, that's the only scene I remember, actually.
Yeah.
Is that. Okay, so Miles Axelrod. No, don't. I hate it. I actually hate it. Miles Axelrod, does he have a daughter?
He's got nothing, bro. He's just a villain. He's got nothing.
Okay, so then what the hell is his movie about then? We need a motivation. How is this the thing we can't crack? How did we get more out of Carminal Minds than this guy who gave us his backstory?
What the hell, man? Okay.
I want to know what drives him.
Oh, I'm not even gonna comment. I'm not even gonna.
Couldn't tell. I want to know what What drives him? What motivates him
Right.
to become a domestic terrorist?
He's born in the... He's a lemon. Society hates him. Oh my god, it's the Joker.
Oh, right. Explain. Go on.
Because society is the problem in his eyes.
Yeah, 'cause
and
lemons
not and
are-
not his own like issues with his
People
own self.
generally have an issue with lemons, I guess. They're being ageist.
Yeah,
And
like-
he's like a grumpy white.
But even then, like people don't really have an issue with lemons.
Yeah.
I'm so like
I
in the
guess
Cars
it's the
universe,
idea
they
that-
really feel like they're being like persecuted all the. Oh my god! It's
about-
just like old people. It's just like old people in real life. They feel like they're getting persecuted for everything when they're just kind of like they're doing fine.
Okay, so maybe it is about...
The times have just changed a bit, Grandpa. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's...
You can't say that word anymore, Grandpa.
I think we've got it.
We've got it.
It's about one man trying to be the most annoying old white guy in the
Yes.
entirety of England.
Yes. Right.
Then he
Okay.
commits
Wait.
a
Wait.
terrorist act.
I've got it. So he was a great explorer in his prime, and we
His Optimus Prime.
his Optimus Prime. So we do Act 1 is like way back in the 60s when he's coming back from like from a big exploration thing where he's seen so many different things, and he's like the Lightning McQueen of his time. He's in his prime, right? And everyone's like, "Oh my god, you're legendary. You've driven to places that no other car has driven to. You've driven off roads. We can never like." You're an inspiration to us all, Miles Axelrod, and he's like, thank you.
And then he says one slur.
And everyone gets hysterical.
And then the allegations start, man, and it's...
And then Act 2 is him is him before the jungle, and he's
jungle,
real, and
lion
everyone's
sleeps
being
tonight.
concerned around him, being like, are you sure this is a good idea? You're getting a little old. You're becoming a bit of a lemon.
And he
Mr.
takes-
Axelrod, and he's like, you
Jack,
you
you
can't tell
called
me
me
when
a
to stop.
slur."
I stop when I stop. I want to stop. And you're like, okay.
He's addicted to
He's-
adventuring.
Yeah, and like he's like well past his prime. Everyone is kind of basically going like, we care about you. Please stop exerting your body for no reason. For no like the what? It's 2011, Miles. People have explored a lot of the Earth by now. You don't have to drive through that jungle. At least 20 other people have probably driven through that jungle already because it's 2011.
Yeah, it's about how he always prefers the traditional old ways.
Yeah.
And so when renewable energy and like solar powered cars and stuff start happening, he's like, what the fuck? What is this? Back in my
What is this?
day,
What is this
we
woke
would drink
nonsense?
the oil, the blood of our ancestors, which basically is what petrol is.
Yeah. It's like proper British
Yeah.
petrol.
I'm going to have my cup of oil, and since he's British,
Would you like a spot of oil?
since he's British, can we somehow incorporate cheeseoid into this? Petrol.
Petrol. Yeah, he's got. All right, I've got it then. So he's his old personal assistant who genuinely cares about him is like, you really should not go for this last run, and so he fires him on the spot and hires a guy called Cheeseoid.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then Cheeseoid, and then
I was
so
taking
petrol
you
was
so
never the problem,
seriously.
and then so Cheeseoid fills up his car with cheese instead of petrol, and so he
And-
never had any fuel in the tank to begin with.
Do cars have cheese?
That's a good question because they have cows.
Yeah, but the cows are tractors.
I feel like they how do you make cheese again? Out of milk. How do you make cheese out of milk?
You have to like add certain stuff to it, and
Yeah.
then like
so just
curdle it
so like
over
just
time.
like that, but
But, like-
petrol.
Oh, God. No, I
That
hate
sounds scrumptious for a car.
Again, scrumptious for
Absolutely
a car.
scrumptious.
T-shirt idea. Pretty scrumptious for
Pretty
a car
scrumptious
guy.
in it.
Pretty scrumptious in it.
Anyway,
That's what I'm going to propose as the Miles Axelrod like catchphrase of the movie is him going, yeah, pretty scrumptious, isn't it? Where's petrol?
wait. So
this is completely not
and
related.
then he's in the jungle. He's in the jungle, right?
Yeah.
And he's mumbling to himself like, "I'm not a lemon. You're a lemon." And then he's like, you know, like after his like 50th day in the jungle, he's like, you know what? Maybe I am a lemon. And then he was like,
Can
what do
we
I
make it
do?
40
What do I
days so
do
we can
if
make it
life makes
biblically
you a
thematic?
lemon? What do I do if life makes you a lemon? And then you're like, make the whole world drink lemonade. And that's his analogy that's in his head. And then he makes the whole world drink lemonade, all in oil, / his desire for revenge for a world that has forgotten him because he's old and he needs to move on and maybe go to the retirement home.
So then when he's in jail, does he continue to be just like a crabby old person?
Yes,
Damn.
I think so. I think the ending of this is that he never learned anything.
What's interesting is that, like, if I remember correctly, he pretended to change into a solar powered car or a green energy car.
Yeah.
He got like fake surgery almost.
Yeah, he got fake solar. Well, I think the solar panels are real. It's just that they do nothing because his car engine is an old car engine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. To be fair, I don't really know how solar powered cars work. Other than
Neither
the
do
sun
I. I don't
part.
think the inventor of Cars 2
Cool.
knows how cars work.
Once again, we know nothing.
They just threw some
about
solar panels on
cars.
top. Yeah.
My sister's learning to drive,
Oh, that's great.
so yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, cool. That's like this podcast's equivalent of claiming that your like great aunt twice removed has indigenous background. My sister's learning to drive.
This is learning to drive, so
we're
we maybe know
qualified.
things about cars.
Yeah. God, okay, so he's in jail. I still kind of want him to try and break out. Maybe he tries to break out, but he fails because he has to do something modern.
He has to team up with a woke new car, pronouns car, and he can't. He just simply cannot.
It's funny that
He
cars
can't
have
overcome.
genders, now that I think about it. Or cars have sex, rather. Well, cars have sex, yeah. But the fact that cars have a biological sex is wild, because they're all cars. Like, is there a difference between, like, a female Ferrari and a male Ferrari? Does the male Ferrari have, like, an exhaust pipe and the female Ferrari doesn't? Or do they just choose?
I think it's very performative.
I think it's
I
maybe
think
if you're born with the weird
I think you've got to
lips.
take. If we're talking about sex and gender within the Cars universe, I think you have to take a Judith Butler approach to sex and gender.
Interesting.
In that there is no inherent genetic or biological.
So they've just created.
sex.
They've created.
So they've kind of
gender
created
roles.
gender roles within their own society.
I wonder what sort of like culture created that snowball effect of
Gender within the Cars universe.
gender, not only gender sort of forming, but also turning into the exact gender conformity that we have in. Sorry, this is literally.
No, it's
my,
genuinely
like,
fascinating.
PhD is
Yeah.
about. Well, no, it's not.
I find this fascinating.
It's because it's like cars don't need to be biologically different in order to reproduce. Well, we don't know how cars reproduce.
I think they get made in a factory.
Me too.
I feel like they've
think
even
it
said
goes
that
like,
they've been made in factories
the
before.
movie Robots, I think it goes like that.
I think it goes like that, or at least like. I feel like that's been covered at some point in the Cars universe, that they've said I was made in a factory or something.
No, I don't think it has been.
Are you sure?
I feel like I would have.
No, I think they're made in factories, and then they find their own way in their own community.
Canonically established.
Do they say my mum and dad at any point? Any of them?
Oh my god, do any of them have parents?
Do any of them have parents? Like genuine? Like, are there any
Wait,
like?
no,
I know that we've now said that Lightning McQueen has parents.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Right,
of course,
but-
Lightning McQueen has parents, and then I realized that was just
It's
something
meaningless.
made up.
Yeah.
Oh my, okay, I'm gonna have to like get back to you on that because I'm actually struggling to think of any.
Yeah, we'll work that one
There's
out.
any mention of parents? I mean, if they don't have parents, that's a really interesting cultural implication.
It also implies that gender is very much just a construct.
It's interesting though because race because like I don't know why I'm explaining my joke to you.
Vroom. Race car.
In Cars 3, and of course we will go into detail about Cars 3 when we get to it. But in Cars 3, they imply that racism exists. Because at one point, when they're talking about Doc and his background in Running Moonshine, which I'm going to mention again because I'm obsessed with it.
Every episode, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
So far.
One day we'll get to actually that story.
Yeah.
There's a car, I forget what, but he's like, yeah, no, it was a different time back then. Back then, me and then he like refers to another car. We wouldn't have had the same right. And I'm sitting there like, are they implying that there's black people but in cars?
Yeah.
Because it was definitely, I'm pretty sure
no,
the actor
I feel like
voicing him was he wasn't white. I remember because I remember looking it up and being like, oh, are they implying that like the civil rights movement happened in the Cars universe? And if that is the case, what the fuck were who was fighting for what rights? Because every car, there's like 100.
it makes the lemon dynamic even like
I think
less
that's still just
like
old
poignant.
yeah.
Like if you think about it, like genuinely,
was
it's just
just
a bunch of
complaining.
old heads in Cars 2
He was just whining.
getting mad, like literally screaming at fucking clouds, and then making it everyone else's problem, and then that's the movie.
But they're also the most powerful oil barons.
Yes, because they're old people who have
'cause it's
accumulated
kind of-
wealth,
it's-
and
yeah.
they're from a certain age where they had a slightly easier time accumulating wealth.
Here's what the movie
and therefore, okay.
Here's what the movie is. He walks to school for 3 hours every day.
Oh my god.
And then when he walks 700 hours back in the rain as well.
Yeah.
And it's always uphill.
Yeah.
And like he walks uphill to school and he walks uphill back. And then when he reaches college, he gets 1 degree, and that gets him the perfect job and a pension instantly.
Yes.
And he earns £2 an hour at that job, where he buys his first, entire studio flat, and then eventually, of course, after a couple of months of work, puts down
And then
a mortgage.
he has a
payment.
midlife crisis around, approximately the car age of 40, where he goes exploring, and he has a great time doing that because he's accumulated so much wealth in his early 20s and 30s that he's able to just go and explore, and he becomes well known for exploring. And then he becomes slightly too old to explore, but he doesn't like the idea that he has to stop. And then he makes it everyone else's problem.
Yeah.
Then he gets arrested for domestic terrorism.
The end.
That's the end of the movie.
The end. Moral of the story is
Moral of the story is it's okay to be called a boomer because life treated you pretty well and you made a lot of lemonade. Right?
And then, you know what? That's not a bad segue into the theme of Cars 3.
Yeah, because it's discussing age and how to handle becoming old in a healthy manner.
Exactly. So we've seen the what.
If you think about it, Cars 1, 2, and 3 all have a really good, strong sense of theme with age and coming of age and understanding your place in life.
They're well written films.
But they all have a common through line of age and maturity.
I agree.
Because Lightning McQueen is becoming mature, and he's understanding that he can't just be arrogant and not consider other people's feelings, and he basically, he begins to become a functional human being by the end of the movie, right? Cars 2 is about unhealthy ways of coping with being old.
And spies.
And Meta being very good at being old.
Yeah, he owns it.
He owns it, to the point where he maybe gets a bit racist in Japan.
Oh,
and then,
you know what though? That
it makes sense.
It makes sense now because
he's a mature individual that can realize that he's not always able to understand cultural problems, whereas Eddie Izzard's character,
he doesn't want to age.
He doesn't want to age.
Or he's salty about the fact that
he also gets surgeries to make himself look younger.
Yeah. Even though he still needs, a shit ton of people constantly, operating on him, but, maintaining him.
Yeah.
And he leaks, because he's the one that leaks oil. So
and he
just
blames it on the other older person around him.
Yeah. My god.
And then Cars 3 is about...
But we did something.
Anyway,
And
the
yeah,
Miles Axelrod story would be about how boomers just need to suck it up occasionally.
and there goes. I don't think you
And,
were
and
ever gonna
there
have
go,
an over
and there
40
goes
fan
the
base.
over 50s market listening to this podcast. Ah, no. I think we should call it here.
Yeah.
And with that...
Wait. Do
Wait,
you
wait,
have
wait.
anything to plug?
To plug? Not right now, no. Well, maybe... Well, we don't know when this comes out, so there's nothing to plug.
Okay, I'm gonna plug my art account. Follow me at Ruminate on Instagram.
Oh, follow Poet Punch on YouTube. Go like and subscribe.
Go follow.
We make
Poet
short
Punch on
films that are
YouTube.
actually of worth and content and
Yeah, I directed
Spice.
a short recently
Yeah.
on that channel.
Janice.
Nat's directed multiple.
I've directed many things.
And yeah, stay tuned. Matthew, do you have anything to plug?
Criminal Minds! I might be on Criminal Minds Evolution!
Watch Criminal Minds. I can't do a Spencer Reid impression.
Numbers.
Well, actually,
Actually,
you need
Doctor Who! Shut up.
Yeah.
But don't.
Okay, and with that,
Ka-chow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday Night Drive, starring Natalie Hay, Rue Gupte,